the agreement before you, on the table has the, revisions that, you will work with them on. It's the normal, I shouldn't say normal, but seems to be the ones that, and we go through almost every time we look at any kind of an agreement or engagement.
It's the only firm that was considered.
No, I had, 3 other firms, but this was the only one that, submitted a, engagement.
So are there more that, Darcy, that we could reach out to as far as, I don't think the cost was high. Is this the norm?
I don't know what the norm is. I reached out to 3 other firms. This was the only one that gave me an engagement. I know you have to get back up and go over there and fix it.
He's got, you hit a button. Or
Do
no?
you remember how to turn off the AI?
I think so.
The 3 dots?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You'll-
And-
3 dots, you'll circle.
Hang on, there's the 3 dots. Maybe. Is it the camera? No, sorry.
I'm coming. I love it.
Sorry.
Right when it works.
This is the first time this is introduced though, right?
Yes.
Okay. The rates have seemed high, highest I think I've seen. That was my only concern. I know representation needs to be had, and as long as the terms are right, I don't know if this is for just the litigation only or for all things needed. I don't know, is there a limited scope or is it for just kind of an on-call? It reads kind of like on-call and litigation.
It looks like litigation and on an as needed.
Got it.
Is what it looks like.
I don't have a ton of needs.
Do we have to have an answer tonight? Because when they redid this, they still have us under Delaware law, we need to be under Indiana law. Is the Delaware law, which one we read different?
What do they call that when there's disputes and they want you to go to their court in their state instead of Indiana?
It's jurisdiction shopping.
Yeah.
Forum shopping.
No, yeah, I would prefer, they may say no, but normally we go to disputes, if we can have it in Indiana, it's gonna save.
Well, I'll tell you, we raised that issue with Fabry about the Indiana law versus Delaware law. Because I just don't like subjecting an Indiana municipality to the laws of a different state.
Mhm.
And I will tell you, Fabry's, they're very good lawyers. I've worked with them in the past.
No, they're top tier.
I guess I don't know what to do in that case, because with, our legal advising us not to go under the Delaware law, I think we should at least table it, even if we have to come back for a special meeting. As you have to watch out for what's best for the city's. I think that's our job.
There's probably some work there that's been done that we'll need to cover though, with that case is ongoing, right? So we will need to be able to cover something, I think, in some shape, form or fashion, so. We would work on that between now and maybe the next meeting, and get something sorted out where we can make sure the issue at hand's covered for sure. I don't know
Can we make a
if you get some other companies or anybody else that might respond or have interest, it's a little,
This was the
Oh,
only
oh,
firm, this was the
right.
only firm. Nobody else would, submit for engagement.
take an advice, and that would be my recommendation.
with change in the wording.
You can, it's not up to me. I've just heard 2 different things here. One, I've heard a question regarding jurisdiction, and then the other one, sorry, I've heard a question regarding the rates.
I also asked Darcy about the rates, but I think he was working on the CD, but, I mean, we do have to get our representation, but, having the, law in Delaware and not under Indiana, I think is, we could table it until we can figure something out and do that, and even if we have to have a special meeting. Is anybody opposed to that?
I'd like to take a stab at getting Indiana if we can. Their rates are gonna be the rates, that won't change, you know. Plus there's representation outside of just the litigation, might get more response, might get lower rates for outside of litigation. Litigation is always expensive, right? I mean, that's my understanding is representation for an actual issue like that's gonna be typically a little higher. I make a motion, we just take it under advisement and then pass it, you know, we can after review as quick as we can, even if we gotta call a meeting. See what we can get out of the deal.
That's a good idea.
It's just a tough pill. Those rates are a tough pill to swallow right now.
Is there a list that we can help Darcy with to reach out to anybody else, or is it up for choosing?
Well,
She did say she reached out to 3 members.
right, so the contract comes before this board for execution and approval. Really, and so how you go about getting professional services is left open. You can do it in any way, shape, or form. Professional services don't have to go under the bidding standard.
They're not under bid law, right?
It's not under bid law. So, but it's when this board is comfortable with it.
So I will second Jeremy's motion to at least take it under advisement. And what do we do?
Have they already been working
We've already spoken.
on her behalf?
About your system.
I think I need to
We sent ask you there.
They've already been working on her behalf. I've been do that. And so.
I don't know.
Okay,
Have they already been working on your behalf?
yes.
And how did that happen without approval?
The time they agreed to engage without this, they understood that risk where nobody else was willing to take that on because of the time frame.
We have a motion to take it under advisement in a second and either pass or fail. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Right. Just clarify, it's tabled, correct?
Yes.
We'll reach out to David.
Can they still continue to represent her since we have a table?
They can if they so choose.
Okay.
You haven't approved anything yet.
Okay, next meeting will be May 4th, 2026 at 5:30. Like the motion to adjourn.
To adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Hopefully I'll just move your battery.
Yeah. Oh, we need a list for council.
Yes, these ones there, it sounds like they're gonna be firewood, go through one area. It'd be nice, it'd be nice to know,
Here, are we supposed to pass these on?
just leave them for, well, now they're, if we're not gonna show them to council, we gotta get public business, sounds like we'll, reset, start over, it sounds like.
I think it's still good stuff.
Maybe just
I have all the bids, I can send them to. Something we'll have to do. It's all right. Just let me know. Okay. I'll get those.
Can I hang on? Yes, you can.
What's that? I gotta go to the community center. I gotta go there.
Kicking me, your seat, turn the meeting, take attention. Let's kick me under the table, what you did.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, he has a, I guess.
Just walk like this.
I know sometimes.
Yeah, but then I get wired.
She said that they're going now, John. She said they're going I think. So is this,
All right. Let's call to order the city council meeting for April 20th, 2026. Roll call. Roger Cuneo,
Present.
John Burchell, Wendy Goins,
Present.
Amy McCurry,
Present.
Dave Luck. Here. Donna Kinker,
Present.
Jeremy Van Erman. Here. City Attorney Julie Lee. Here. Clerk Treasurer Darcy Van Erman. And I'm also here. Do you have any public comments?
Okay. I didn't grab the list, sorry.
Okay.
I tried to.
Everybody get a chance to review the previous meeting's minutes.
Will we be getting a copy of the previous?
Oh, I can send them to you, forgive me.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
you can. I'm more than, yes, I did, I just
Okay.
forgot to
I
send.
know it had mentioned that you did the revised net, which thank you. I just didn't know if those should have been attached. If they were completed.
Yes, I checked the box so that it was done instead of waiting to check it, that it was sent.
Questions on the minutes?
And make a motion to approve what was presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, approval of claims. Warrant 20504 through 20523 in the amount of $12,507.25.
I had a quick question. We apparently, the agenda I picked up today was different than the original one that was sent out as far as adding the numbers where she could. But originally, if you add up the two that were separated, it comes to 14,507.25. And the new agenda says 12,507.25. So there's a $2,000 difference in the two.
And
Yes, for the.
For the special docket.
Yes, if you look at the original one that was sent out and you add those two amounts, it comes to 14,507.25. But then when I looked at the original docket, it had,
I'll tear it apart again and see what I can find to answer that question. I just know we've got everything in piles per meeting. And I grabbed the piles per meeting and tore them all apart and put them back together. It took me 2 days, but we did it.
well, and I appreciate that. I just was curious as to if that was,
So I can't answer that without re-tearing back through it all. Like I said, I just went through the piles. So I'll tear through it again and try and find your difference.
Okay, I apologize because I didn't know we had a new agenda. And so when you saw the new agenda, I couldn't ask before the meeting.
No,
because-
it's fine. That's what I do. I can dig. I'll tear it apart to try to find that discrepancy from the agendas.
Questions?
Well, I do appreciate the work that you put into switching that over, but so it'll take a little while in order to get that answer. As far as then we can't proceed.
That's up to you if you don't want to proceed without knowing that.
Okay.
I think with the difference, we ought to table that.
Okay, understand this. I just need you to understand, we have vendors and they have cut us off. That we cannot get parts, we're going to lose. Go ahead.
She may have an answer to your question. If get to my assistant speak.
I mean, it's your meeting.
Okay.
And it addresses that issue.
It does, I believe.
So, I also did notice that from the plans that we had from February and March, the total was different. I believe it is a clerical error for, if you look at the harvest market claim on the first page, I believe, of the new special docket,
Okay,
it said $2,225.87 or something like that. In the new docket that she prepared, it says $225 and some odd cents. That's your $2,000 difference. I believe it's a clerical error
Typo.
from the first set of claims that you guys received in February and from when she redid it. I think she caught that error and made that adjustment.
It was on the spreadsheet, yes.
So I think that is the $2,000 that you're looking for, is the harvest market
okay,
claim.
okay.
So it,
Well, and it's good to see that there's some internal controls, or if not, that we are making those internal controls because it was caught. So I feel better about that, and I appreciate that answer. Going forward, I guess, yeah, if internal controls, however that, I don't know about the spreadsheet and what have you, but thank you. The only other thing I would have on this is I noticed that there were a couple things that were previously in lit that had been moved over. And lit is a positive balance account, so I feel like those should stay in lit. We don't want chief to get in the same position that the fire chief would in.
Those are moved over because that was an oversight. Again, you're talking to internal controls and double checking. We used a specific appropriation line for certain purchases for public safety last year that is not funded for this year. That's why those were moved. The funding for that specific line item is to come from slot machine and not from lit. When we moved chiefs, payroll and insurance to lit, it took out the money that we normally put in that appropriation line. So anything that would normally come out of that appropriation line had to be moved to slot machine for funding for this calendar year.
So you didn't just take their salaries, it was their budgets. I mean, other than like police stickers, then has to be moved or changed because now they're coming out of lit and not general.
No. That would have normally come out of lit. Previous years, it came out of lit. This year, we didn't have the funding for that appropriation line. So there's nothing in that appropriation line. Because we follow certain models, the double check internal, actually it's a triple check internal control that's been built captured that that line was being used and it should have been used. It didn't get turned off for this calendar year. So that spending had to go get corrected where it was supposed to go, which is out of slot machine.
Those were the only questions I had.
How do we know what's, the balance of those accounts are of slot and, what's the other one?
Depends on which
Yeah,
balance you
Riverboat.
want. If you want, it will either be on your fund report to show you what's in those funds that you're getting, or it's the appropriation lines will show on your appropriation report that you're getting.
Oh, that's what I thought. And these are current then?
Yes, that was part of the holdup with you getting everything for this meeting. I wanted to make sure all of these dockets had pulled through correctly, all of your appropriation lines were. So yes, coming out of everything being paid for, that is what's left in the balance, or that is what's left in every fund after you pay these bills, where they've been presented to you tonight.
Any more questions? Any motion, one way or the other?
Motion to approve that one. I make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Warrant 20238 through 20332 from 3/16/2026. The remaining balance on that is $42,361.53.
Well, I'll speak up on this. There was two professionals have, stated that this is what we need to do to keep our city from being shut down. And that we're paying, good money for somebody to do this for us. Which kind of is kind of a precarious thing, because and I'm just talking about the clerk treasurer. I'm not talking about a particular person. But it seems to me we're spending a lot of money doing something that somebody with the credentials that the clerk treasurer stated should be able to do. And I understand that there's probably many reasons why this happened. But again, this is just another reason why we're kind of in this hole too. I'm going to go ahead and make a motion that we pay this, but it's with grave reserve. I will just tell you.
Just to help a little bit on that, the storm is in the positive, and in that 42,000, several of those were storm also. So I didn't calculate them in the my eyes were burning from numbers. But, there are some storm in that, so that would bring that number down. Coming out of what you're concerned with. So just FYI on that. Same with the next one. I might as well say that.
We have a motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Yes.
Right. Warrant 20333 through 20428. From 4/6/26 with a remaining balance of $2,341.19.
This one, I do see that items were moved, and so they are all paid out of a positive balance. And since that was what our previous denials were based on. And the hesitation, it appears that there are no,
This is my last one.
this is the third one?
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize, I had the wrong agenda.
And to make sure I had the right one, can you read the warrant numbers again?
20333 through 20428. And again, the remaining balance is $2,341.19.
Couple of those that stuck in my mind and I looked at, and you're gonna have to tell me what coliform is, COLIFORM. It's for the water.
Yeah. In drinking water and wastewater, we have to send our water off to labs and or they do some of it themselves, but it's like a petri dish. And coliforms are for bacteria that we don't want, so they test for that regularly to make sure it's not in drinking water or if on the effluent of the wastewater. So it can come out drinking water or wastewater. Typically not Kyle's unless he's out doing some testing from a complaint call.
It seemed pretty serious.
We have an independent lab do it for the water, drinking water, but we do it in-house for the.
But that was one of the ones in the 2,341. Parts and supplies, and then one was well electricity. I thought those guys stuck out on me. Kind of need. Again, I didn't put the numbers down to how much out of that it was, but those just re-highlighted themselves, that were already highlighted. So with that, I have a motion to approve that one.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Warrant 20429 through 20525 for 2026 in the amount of $430,475.67. That was the one.
That was the one I'm referring to, yes. Did anyone else have any questions or anything that stuck out? I would say the only thing that I appreciate the work on getting these moved over. some of them, like I had referred to in the first, I still need to, and I know we talked about needing to, bring myself up to speed as far as the fund, but I do see that none of them are paid out of a negative balance. And that is what, previously, like I started to say, we could not allow. With them being in the positive balance, still, I know under old business, we're going to get into additional appropriations. And those were made, it appears, or balances were changed on the first warrants. The reason that I did not vote in favor of the next two was I was thinking we would get something similar to the first set. So just to reiterate that, so that we know that those were changed over. However, this, it does seem that they were. So with that being said, and the fact that we have got to start paying these claims, I will go ahead and make a motion on this particular warrant. To approve. I'm sorry. Everyone's waiting with me to approve.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay, payroll for April 17th, 2026, in the amount of $148,129.33.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next was the insurance committee, which we scratched that because they have to go back to the drawing board. Old business, scheduling public hearing for additional appropriations. Does anybody have any comments on that?
I thought we had done something with this. I thought we were supposed to do something with this. Am I wrong? Did I hear wrong last time?
We were expecting something so we could call a special meeting.
So. Very confused. So I was pretty sure last time we did this, so why wouldn't it have been done? So okay, so forget that question then. So it's a scheduled public hearing for, when are we going to do that?
I can tell you, I spoke with Russ Bender with Exos. He is working on the finances to get the schedule and work through exactly what needs to be appropriated to which funds and from which funds. So, I mean, I think he's working on that right now.
Okay,
And my guess is when he's got that figured out and has a plan of attack, it'll be up in front of the council.
okay.
And he plans on, he can't make it to the next meeting, but he plans on being here the middle meeting of May. He will be here to address the council and answer questions, any questions that he can for you at that time. All right, moving on. Ordinance, repealing ordinances, 1622 and 2024-005 line payment of claim for city council approval.
This is, you prepare this ordinance as requested. It is up for first reading. And essentially what it does is it takes away the ability for pre-approval, prepayment of claims prior to council approval. So that council would have to approve any payment going out.
And again, those wouldn't be brought to us until all of the items are like the contract, those five.
That should
Once
be all done
that's
prior.
clear, then it comes to us and we make that approval. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm learning. Consistently. So we don't need a motion or anything for first reading.
Unless somebody wants to suspend the rules and stuff like that, but otherwise it's a first reading.
To pass it, we'd have to suspend the rules and read it for first and second reading all in one meeting to get it done. But
Does anyone have an objection to that? No.
it has to be unanimous though, right?
Unanimous to suspend the rules, and then the ordinance has to pass by 2/3 vote.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules.
I'll second.
All in favor? All opposed? Yeah, we,
Motion.
Yeah. So that was to suspend the rules.
Okay,
So now you can consider this on first. reading. So,
and does he read this?
well, this will be, since you suspended the rules, you'll be considered passing this today on
Okay.
first read.
By title only.
I'll make a motion to pass ordinance number 2026-006-C.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
An ordinance repealing ordinances 1622 and 2024-005-C, allowing payment of claims prior to city council approval.
Okay, I second.
all in favor? All opposed? All right.
Oh, I got that.
Okay, perfect.
Close public.
Yeah, that's public hearing.
Okay.
Okay, that's about it. I have something to say. We have somebody recognized in Madison County for being an outstanding volunteer to the, like to, on our city council, and it's a good thing we have her. I mean, we're blessed to have her, so.
Let me get that.
It's already in the current.
Thank you.
I have one thing to bring up. So there are continuing opioid matters that are going on. There's another tranche coming through. As city attorney, I can execute those agreements to opt in. Essentially, opting in is going to be saying, yes, the city wants to participate in this and we'll take whatever receive any additional settlement. That could be just like consensus. I don't think like to move on that situation. Like to be told to do so.
My head bobs.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Everybody's, summertime's up. Keep your eyes out for e-bikes, golf carts.
Yeah.
We're gonna start hammering those ordinances soon. We need to, we can't wait for somebody to hurt. And they're in and out. They'll come out of the alleyway right in front of you. So. He told me of is it Gaston or Gas City that's got a good e-bike ordinance?
I haven't seen that one. Sergeant Branson put together a pretty good e-bike training that he put out to the department, and a lot of officers learned a lot of things from that. But as far as Gaston's ordinance, I haven't heard anything about that yet.
Okay, so keep your eyes out.
Yeah, I'd recommend the helmets and keeping them off the sidewalks. You may want to address the bike path or the walking path out of the parkway, right?
Yeah.
It's spring, and so, with graduation coming up, just parents, educate your children on applying for scholarships. There's so many available. Contact your local social worker in your schools who can help get you steered down a path. Apply for those. That is money
that is free and in your pocket. And I know Delta Theta Tau would love to consider all the students for 2 scholarships. So keep that on your radar. It's coming up sooner rather than later.
I got a concerned citizen about the food truck at the Save on Liquors. Is he paying taxes or anything? I don't know how any of this is working, but it
As far
was
as I
probably,
know, he had an agreement with Save on Liquor, as far as I know.
it was very,
I looked into it a little bit last year. It's my opinion they fall under a traveling merchant, which we do have an ordinance on. And I think we should locally at least have them come through something here. Because they'll come in and out. We don't know, or they'll park somewhere for weeks on end nonstop. And it's kind of like door-to-door sales. And the best I read that one ordinance, it seemed like they kind of fall under that. Now, I hate that it's more work for somebody's office here to deal with, but I know the health department inspects them. That's separate. That's a different issue, but just so that we know they're in town and they're doing business and there might be a small fee associated with it, I think it'd be nice to make sure it's covered.
For example, the city of Elwood has an ordinance where they collect permits for food trucks. So it's something that you have to have on hand in your unit in order to park on their streets and there's rules with it. So that's just a FYI.
but we're not doing that now, right?
Well, they're not on city street. This is on private property and they're different private parking, like there's one out at Corners or Harvest once in a while too. But the way I read it best I could tell is it seems like it falls under, I forget what it's called, the door-to-door sales thing.
Transient. merchant.
Transient,
Yeah.
thank you, yeah. So I don't know what we can do.
We look at
You guys can look
different
at
ordinance,
that.
we could put in front of the council and also e-bikes. Could we get something going on that?
Yeah, we started on the process on e-bikes. The chief has reached out on that and Rachel has. There's just a few other things.
Yeah. All right, anybody else?
To adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
We had a showdown.
The rules.
Thanks, guys.
Be careful.
And I always look at the agenda.